everybody. It's Tuesday. I'm excited about today. This is the Proof in the Pudding podcast show. And I go by the name of Sion 919. And I'm very excited about today's show because, this woman right here been a businesswoman since day one. She's been on the grind, She went further than a lot of people. They said she could go, She's still going, So without any further ado, we got the boss lady herself in the building, Multiple business owners. Definitely making moves in Atlanta. So North Carolina, y'all know what it is. Let's give it up for Miss Nikki Kouture. What's going on, yo?
What's up, Si? Q, what you going about now? Like,
Sion, you know it's Q. You know me well. So you know how we do it. So I'm excited about everything that you're doing, I'm very proud of you. So before we even start, I definitely want to say that, I'm definitely proud of the moves you're making. I'm watching you. You're everywhere. You're doing big things, You're doing celebrity big boss things out there. So let's catch the people up to speed. If they may not know what's going on with Nikki right now, let's let them know what Nikki Kouture shoes is doing.
Well, actually, I want to switch up a little bit because we did start a little bit early, and I thought about the interview, so I'm going to try to change it a little bit. I want to keep it. I'm everywhere, but being everywhere, it takes people that are behind the scenes to make it work.
Right.
So if you're in this industry, outside of just seeing who's who and who's out, you have to know about the people that's working behind the scenes and how to connect and how to build your brand to get where I'm at, because it's not a overnight thing. It takes work as well. But yeah, let's get back to what you was talking about.
Nah, you good. And that's the thing. You've been putting in work for years. So for the people that may not be familiar, you've been doing this for a while. Let's let the people know like how you first got started doing what you're doing now.
I guess it was selling shoes, women's shoes, and being in the mix a little bit and networking and meeting people. Like, people think that you're just going to automatically make money. Like, a lot of the wins that you get are your network. Your network is the biggest part of anything that you can do. Like, money is as well, as far as where you're taking your career to, but when you're building your brand, a lot of it is the network. And the things that you learn from different people along your journey.
Right.
You can't always think that a loss is not a win, because you have to take the good with the bad, and you have to take something out of that as well.
Right.
So with the people that come across your life, we don't always understand like why they're in our lives, or what's this connect for, or whatever. But eventually you have to understand it all comes together.
Right.
So I've had a lot of different journeys with working with a lot of different people, and I think that's what got me to the place that I am, because honestly I didn't plan out to be doing what I'm doing in this industry. That it wasn't foreseen for me, but this is the path that I'm on now.
Right.
So yeah.
And that's the thing. And like you said, the connections and the people you meet learning from. Even with you, I had the chance to work with Hip Hop Magazine, become an editor, journalist. I would have never been doing this now if I would have never connected with you then to be doing what I'm doing. So it all goes full circle. So I salute you for that as well. So let's talk about Endless right now, because the Endless report, you're everywhere. Like, you're on every scene. I'm seeing you with a lot of famous people. So let's talk about that journey and what was that like from the beginning to now.
Well, I do have to give a lot of props to Hip Hop Magazine, because that is like a door that, salute to them, that opened up for me to help me network. Rewinding with them, I networked with some other people that did radio, WTNT radio. So that built a back door for me as well when it came down to learning how to do interviews and bringing people aboard to do the interviews. I connected and I networked with a lot of people. So that helps me now to where I'm at to build my brand. And that goes into like knowing the PRs, people that plan these events, and being able to know them, and they know that you have a legitimate brand, that you're able to produce their clients, access to the public, or people being able to see what's going on with their clients. they'll allow you into that part of it.
Right.
So that's how I gain access to that. It's taking time, and you're not an overnight success when you're doing something like this, and you don't automatically get the bag. But as long as you keep pushing forward and you know what your objective is, it eventually pays off overall.
Right.
And that's the thing. Looking from the outside looking in, it's definitely paying off. It's like, yo, you're getting some real exclusives before the world get it. So let's talk about some of your favorite moments, like, yo, where it's like, this is really happening. The world ain't even see it. You're getting exclusive. What's some of those moments that stand out the most to you?
I mentioned to you earlier, I covered like Trina. Trina's like one of the baddest chicks. Like, her I think it was 20th anniversary for one of her albums. They threw her like this real big party, and I think it's going to be taped on VH1. So I get to see a lot of that behind the scenes, like the Love and Hip Hop crew.
Right.
I've met a lot of celebrities. Also, like last week, I think Little Duval. Wow. He has a comedy special, the Smile Bitch. Am I able to say that on here?
You good.
Living my best
You
life.
home.
It's a special for that, but he had a viewing, so I get to meet and sit down with a lot of A-list celebrities. I will say one of the most amazing events that I went to was, gosh dang that, I can't think of it. Hannah King produced the event for. Give me a second. I'll come back to it. I can't think of it. Ask me something else. I'll tell you in a second.
You get no problem. Yo, have you ever got starstruck in those moments? Because you're meeting a lot of people. Have you ever had the starstruck, or now at this point, is this natural to you?
It's just natural.
Okay.
I will say the other night I did get a chance to meet Tiny from Escape. Wow. So like me, I'm not old, but I'm in the 80s realm. So like that is. It's not like music is now today. They're really, celebrities or people that have hits and have been out for a while, legends. So it was pretty cool to meet her and, take some pictures with her. She was real cool, down to earth. Who else? I don't think anybody else besides I'm not a starstruck person. No.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I see pictures, you on everybody. Like I said, you're meeting a lot of people. So it's like, yo, you always had that mindset though, that you're a boss, like you're bigger than the vision. What normal people were seeing back then, you was already ahead of the curve. So it's like, do you think that played a part in your determination and your motivation to push you where you are today?
Yeah, I definitely believe that you have to have some kind of vision. We don't always see it clearly, but we see bits and pieces, and sometimes we're afraid to jump on those bits and pieces because we don't know where they're going to lead, or it's not necessarily following the crowd, or the group of people that we're around. Like sometimes you have to step outside of your norm,
right,
to put these pieces together.
Wow.
And that's the thing right there, because it's like sometimes you can't grow. You become complacent. Everybody's doing the same thing, and you become stagnated, and you kind of hit your ceiling, and you can't grow. But it's like you went beyond that. So it's like you left NC. You was already doing big things in NC. You moved to Atlanta. What was that process like for you?
Well, it wasn't an easy process. I will say that, because a lot of time people, like you said, when you see it from the outside, you think that it's just automatically, oh, she's here, because you see the pictures, but you don't get the back end of it. Right. But it wasn't a smooth process. And I don't think I would change any of it, because it's all taught me certain things about not just this, but life as well. So I went through, some little rough patches. Right. And I've had some good patches, and I've had some things that I've just had to just be like, okay, you have to let go, or you forget this and move to another direction. Right. But overall, it's been pretty good.
And that's the real thing about it. A lot of times, like you said, chasing a dream is not always easy. So for the people that may be watching, In the difficult times, how did you get through those moments, and how did you stay focused to keep going forward?
You just got to know what your goals are. You know, sometimes we don't set goals, or we set them, but then we lose focus of them. And we think, even though we're going through certain things that these goals can't be accomplished, or we can't make it past that. It's just sometimes you just have to readjust the things,
Right.
um, and take a step back. And then we're always trying to rush. You know, time waits for no one, but at the same time, we all have our own moment,
Right.
and we're going to live it, but we just have to, take it one day at a time. The readjustment might be what you need to get to the next step.
And that's real right there. That's a real knowledge point right there. So let me ask you, looking back, right, from your journey then to now, what are some things that you learned that stand out the most?
um I guess I would say how to handle your business. Get your business in order,
Right.
because if you that plays a lot. I would say at this point that I'm at now, it plays a lot into what I do, because when I get invited to different events, they want to go on your credentials. They
Right.
want to make sure you have a website. They want to make sure that you are a legal business, that you are a legal photographer, or that whatever their requirements are. So if you're going into this just thinking, oh, I just want to do this, I don't, what I'm saying? You have to be prepared. You have to, business wise, you have to have your stuff together. That's a major part into it.
Okay. And that's the thing right there, like you said, because they're trusting you with their brand. So it's like you have some big people that's trusting you with their brands. How does that feel, seeing your work pay off and then getting exclusive? Because they can invite anybody. They like, I want the end list to be in here. So they send you the invite. How does that feel, seeing your work pay off?
It feels good. It really it feels good knowing where I came from, the hurdles that I've had to overcome, and the things that I've been through, and to be able to be in this place and know how hard I've worked. It really feels good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, you definitely put the work in, and you definitely deserve all the flowers, and you definitely deserve all the opportunities. So let's talk about some of these events, because you're at, like you said, you're seeing pre-screenings, you're at shows, premieres, you're at movie premieres. What are some of your favorite ones that stood out the most?
Ray Sherman. That's the event that I wanted to talk about. So that was like one of the most extravagant events, because everybody had, like, even though it's a hip hop culture thing, everybody had to dress up. You had to look nice. So you didn't get like the average party where everybody's in smoking or just drinking. Everybody had to actually look nice. And it was put together by one of the well-known event planners out here. I think it's MBE Events. Well, they do like a lot of extravagant events and stuff, but I would say that's one that really, like, I met like a lot of celebrities. Like, I'm not starstruck, but I actually really met like a lot of celebrities that night.
Yeah, and that's the thing right there. So let me ask you, what part of your journey, right, when you get these invites, so you get okay, they give you the green light, we want you to come. What was one, like, where you knew, like, I'm on my way, or kind of like, your first big one when you got in there? Who was that, and how did that feel?
Um, Gosh.
You done a lot, so I know it's a million. There's a million going through it.
Maybe, like, I would say one that actually really stuck out to me was it was a Dutch Master Brand concert series with Nipsey Hussle, and I think this was like maybe a year before he passed, or maybe a few months before he passed. So being able to be in his presence, and he's kind of a legend in the hip hop industry, that really, I was like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
okay.
And that's the thing. So it's like from the outside looking in, a lot of times people think, like you said, they think it's just easy. It's going to happen overnight. What are some mistakes people make coming into this industry?
Thinking that once you get in the door that you don't have to work hard, you don't have to continue to work hard. And that I think people think that you are able to just quit what your regular 9 to 5 is, or that this is automatically going to pay off. Like, it actually takes time. And that's something that some people don't realize. Then you have people that do get in here and get starstruck. And I think maybe the biggest thing is to make sure you keep your brand up.
Right.
You know, keep yourself in good standards, because Atlanta is big, but believe it or not, it's really small. You can meet somebody here and they know somebody here, and it's just a small bubble. So it's always to make sure that your face, your brand is good at the end of the day, because you never know who knows who and who can help you get in a certain door, or who can connect you with somebody else that can help you move further than where you are. So it's always good to make sure that your brand is good. I will say that.
Okay, and that's the thing. So it's like Atlanta is a lot of opportunities, a lot of things happening, even with Tyler Perry being there, with the movie industry, the entertainment industry. So there's a lot of people they're migrating there, coming to Atlanta because they feel like, yo, it's going to happen. If I can just get to Atlanta, I can get my break. You've been out there. You've seen both sides of it. You've seen both sides coming up in the game. Now you're in the game. What's some of the lessons that you learned from both sides?
Again, that is not going to just happen overnight. Just because these people are here, they worked just as hard as anybody else to get to where they are, so that they're not necessarily just going to give you a handout because you're very talented or you can deliver this. This is it's a very tough industry.
Right.
And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to know that even if you get a no today, tomorrow, a yes is going to come somewhere down the line.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say that's one of the things that I've had to learn, because I've had some people tell me no, and it hurt my feelings a little bit, but I had to just brush it off, and you keep going, because that might not be what was meant for you at that time.
That's true right there. And I'm pretty sure nowadays you're getting a lot more yeses than nos. So,
Yeah.
so it's paying off. So let me ask you a real serious question, right? Being a female in the industry, sometimes women, they lose themselves. How did you stay focused being in the mix? And it's like, because you're seeing both sides. You got the indie side, then you're seeing the actual industry side. How did you stay focused and not get caught up like some other people get caught up in the game?
Because I know what my main objective is.
Right.
You know, I know what I'm in it for. You know, people are in it for different reasons. So a lot of times when you see girls doing certain things, that's actually what they want to do, believe it or not. You know, it's just a matter of how you handle yourself. And I think too, coming here prior to, you know, this type of lifestyle, I've been able to have a lot of fun and do all the things that I wanted to do, as far as, you know, hanging out. And so that's not my focus.
Right.
It's a matter in what you're focused on. So if you go in it with a mind, like I'm around celebrities, I'm trying to get a bag from these celebrities, or are you going at it in a business on the ways? It's the ways of how you're trying to handle it, the levels that you're trying to go. Do you want the people to respect you for this, or do you want them to respect you for this?
Right.
You know, I'm going at it as being a boss.
Right.
I would go at it as being, if this was any other type of industry that I'm trying to get to the top at, and be a CEO, or have my brand be recognized as a CEO or entrepreneur, or, I want that respect, not disrespect to anybody else that does, what they do, because that's their thing. But my mindset is totally different.
Right. And that's the thing. You definitely have a sophisticated style and presence about you. You've always been that way. So let me ask you, what's some of the dangers coming into the industry if you're naive? You didn't do the research. You just come into the game, and now you're in the inner circles. What's some of the dangers that people may face or get caught up in?
Well, you do have people that's out here that's trying to con people out of money. So you have to be mindful of that, because there's a lot of people out here that can promise you that they can do certain things and they can't deliver, or they're just trying to scheme you out of money. So you have to be mindful of that. Um, I guess women, um, when you're around guys, I mean, I can't really tell people how to, if they want to have a drink or two, but just don't go at it alone. If you're going to come out here and have fun or turn up, but that's anywhere you go as a woman. Don't do it alone. At least try to have somebody with you that can help, manage the situation if you get a little too tipsy and can't handle yourself, because you don't know what people might try to do to you.
Right.
I don't know, sir.
I mean, you're keeping it real, like you said, having somebody that's watching your back at them times, because you thinking, they're good people. You may not know these people. You may not know their history.
And just keep your team around you. Try to keep like a strong team, not just a team that's with you when you get the bag. A team that's actually going to build with you when you don't have the bag. That's your true people that's going to ride with you, because they know what you're all about. They trying to help you grow. They trying to help you along your journey, so they can, they want to monetize off of it, but they're true to you.
Right.
So, keep true people around you.
Yeah, and that's real right there. So let's talk about your time at the radio. How was that experience like, and how did you get into doing radio?
That it was fun, because I'm not really like a TV or radio person that just want to talk or be on, on a mic or anything. It was good because I actually started out when I moved here, helping my cousin with the PR work.
Okay.
And, again, networking and being around other people, I came across DJ Cat and he had a radio station, WTNT Radio.
Okay.
So, like, a lot of people follow me on social media and they see what I'm doing. He's like, okay, well, Nick, I see what you're doing. Come help me with my radio station, doing the marketing and the branding and stuff. So I started out with that, and I would sit in some days on the show. And it was cool, like interviewing people and asking questions, and because we're Libras and we're curious people and we want to know, we like to ask. And so it was cool for me. It fit in, even though that was not something that I truly wanted to do, but it was okay. And then I still handle like behind the scenes, so I learned that on how to format and send out interview requests and bring people on. And it showed me a lot of stuff dealing with radio, online, and I networked with different PR people, and it was cool. It helped build my brand as well.
Okay. And that's the thing, you definitely build the brand, and the radio, it gave you a lot of experience right there. So let's talk about that. You said branding and marketing, right? How important is that for people that has a brand? They may not know about promotion. They may not know about marketing. And how did you get into that?
It's very important. I think I got into it back home. I was helping like Novelist the Kingpin. I don't know if that's still
Salute the novelist.
who he go by, but me and my girls, like, we used to hang out and stuff, and I think he thought maybe she'll be cool to help with promoting, and that's how I actually got started doing that, and that opened doors to network with other people, artists and people that did clubs and stuff. So I learned how to help people, build a brand, bring people out. It's different types of little tactics that you got to use to catch people's attention, and even not just your business, a personal brand, and who you are. It showed me how people have different personalities when it come down to like an artist and who they are separately, and you got to separate those brands as well. So I learned a lot of that from home, and it helped when I came out here to doing it more business wise behind the scenes and knowing what people look for, and how you have to portray yourself, and it's a lot to it. But
right, and that's the thing. But it's like you're doing it well, so now you have people seeing your work, and from your work, it's kind of like your resume. It speaks for itself. So now people saying, "I like what you're doing. Can you help me over here?" So now you see your growth from when you first started with Novelist the Kingpin to now. Over the years, I'm pretty sure the way we market and promote has changed. How did you stay with the times, and how did you stay effective throughout the years?
Social media has played a part a lot into that, and I guess that's where the endless report comes in as well, because it I'm not going to say nosy, but you're more aware of, and that kind of helped me do that part of it, because I don't really care about people's business or anything, but social media helps. And I don't know, for some reason I've always just been in that mix, and in that mix it's kind of just opened these little doors, like just how they say little magical stuff just happen for you. Right. But those doors, so putting all of that together has helped me build like the endless report. So I kind of stay up on my social media now and try to know who's who, but I don't want to keep it to where I'm just so much in people's business, because that gets annoying having somebody. I want the endless report to keep being about like the events and who's going where and who's who, what they have on, and the celebrity spottings versus so much gossip. So all of it is it's working itself out. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's getting there.
It's coming together. So you are a woman of style. So let's talk about some of these events right here. So like, what are some people that wowed you? They stepped in. We talk about fashion and style. They came in, they had it together. What were some people like, yo, they did that? Or like, yo, I like, what's some memories that stood out the most?
I guess the most recent, Trina, her not celebrity, but her album celebration for her 20th anniversary. Like, she was really styled real nice. That was like a very nice, extravagant, I want to say maybe like 70s theme she was dressed like. That was really nice. She really stood out to me.
Okay, and I think you have a clip on your site from the Trina thing. So we're going to jump to the clip real quick, and then we'll be back. That's cool?
That's cool.
Who's there? Who's there? Who's there?
Hey, hold on.
Who's there?
I'm representing for the misses. All eyes on you riches. No time for the little tricks. You see, the bigger the trick, the bigger the bank, the bigger the biz, the better your chance to get close to his rich friends. I'm going after the big man. But G-string make his stand. Make it quick then. Romance by the nightstand. Like lightning. I want a man with a red ring. Bank accounts in the Philippines. Black metal take everything. See how I touch him in the living room. While it's churning home. Lights off, unplug the funk. A little nasty, yo. Red bone, but I'm classy, yo. Real jazzy, yo. And don't be scared, cause if you're curious, just ask me, yo. It ain't nothing, cause it comes quite natural. Cause I'm the baddest chick.
Who's there? Who's there? Who's there?
Y'all know I'm the baddest chick.
Who's there? Who's there? Who's there?
You see, I hate those who take they the talk shows and fall forward.
Yo, so
See, if I'm ever crossed or caught up in the cross, and it's your fault, yo. I'm going off, yo. See, I'm unemployed with no boss. Why y'all give it up for free?
So, yo, we just seen the Trina event right there, 20 years later, still the baddest. What was the atmosphere like in the building that day? and to see people come out, because a lot of celebrities came out to celebrate her that night. How did it feel to be in the building that night?
It felt good. It really felt good because I feel like she's somebody that I've watched grow up over the years. So it's like a difference when you're going out to like just a average celebrity event, because it's easier now to become a celebrity with like TikTok and all the social media, like the trends and certain things. But she's somebody that's really been in the game for a minute. So to see her celebrate that, and she was crying and she had Trick Daddy with her, like, and he's been like right there by her side the whole time. That was awesome. And then something else, that event, it was small, but it was Donnell Jones. Like, I really, I would say maybe that's one person that I would not get starstruck, but I was like, okay, I wouldn't take a picture with him, because that's somebody that I've grown up over the years listening to the music, and I know that it's good, legitimate music. You can put an album out and, you know, listen to the whole thing. So when I go somewhere and I meet people like that, that really, it sits here with me.
Right, because now it's like, I remember on the other side, kind of was a fan at first, but now it's like,
Yeah.
now we're colleagues. So it's like, that's a beautiful thing, and to see them still doing their thing. Has anyone ever gave you any like advice along the way, like, yo, I like what you're doing? Is any celebrities that you once looked to, have they ever seen you and say, yo, I like what you're doing? And did they give you any advice?
Well, I was on a Zoom Monday with Bad Dads Rehab, the new session. It comes out Father's Day, June the 20th.
Okay.
And I asked the question, and the question that I asked one of the guys, like at the end, he was like, you know, yeah, that's a really good question that you asked. So that kind of makes me feel
Right. That's the thing, because it's like, yo, you're growing by leaps and bounds. So it's like you're doing it. You're making a transition from kind of from like indie to mainstream, and you're doing it all on your own. So it's
yeah.
like you got a team behind you. Let's not forget that you do have a team behind you, but you're building your brand. You're a female in the game. You're making it happen. So to get those acknowledgments to say, yo, that was really good, is your training, and as you're putting your dues in, you're learning now. So how has it gotten easier for you over the years?
I guess, like, you know, my face is becoming more noticeable.
Right.
People are knowing more of who I am, and they're respecting my work a little bit more. So it's more easier to get in those doors because of that.
Right.
So I will say that has helped a lot.
Right. And that's the thing. Like your name and your reputation, your brand is almost like your credit score in the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like with all the years, like you said, they're starting to see you. At first, they're like, okay, second, third time, like, yo, I like what she's doing, and you stand consistent. So now doors are starting to open. So it's like from being consistent, how important, a lot of times people, they go on rants, they go through certain things and they lose it in public. How important is maintaining your character in this business?
It's very important. It's very important because people can meet you one day and be like, okay, yeah, I want to work with her, or I want to do something with her. And then you go out and you do something, or you be all on social media loud. And like, I'm not knocking nobody,
Right.
but that can take away from a bag that can potentially be yours. So, like I said earlier, like your brand speaks more for you about you than anything. You know, whether you have a bag coming into it or whatever the case may be, people, if people know you face value and they know your work ethic, they'll be more willing to work with you than whether you going out here just because you got money. You think, oh, this, that, and there, you want to pop off this, and I don't care. No, that don't mean nothing to these people.
Right.
So, you know, who you are and the brand that you're building means everything.
Right. And that's the thing right there. You consistently been doing it. Let's talk about Dakotablu real
Mhm.
quick.
Okay, Dakotablu was actually something that I came up with during the pandemic. I wanted to create um another business, but I wanted it to like just be something that my son can, even though my other businesses will go to him, but I just wanted this to just be a focus that everything just goes to him. I'm still kind of working on it. It's a retail business, but I think I'm going to just um, kind of transfer it back into couture shoes when I just sold shoes and just have that be the focus of that business because it was just everything that I was selling. But when you're doing too much, you're actually doing nothing at all. So
Right.
I kind of had to slide back a little bit and cut some things down.
Okay. So, all right, we got Dakotablu, and you said that's kind of like you wanted to leave a legacy for your son.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let's talk about that part right there, like boutiques, shoes, and stuff like that. How hard is it making it in the industry? Because like you got a bunch of million brands coming out. How did you stay focused, and how did you stay afloat through the years?
Um, as far as like the shoot, what are you asking?
As far as the brand, as far as the shoes, and now with the Dakotablu.
Well, actually, with the shoes, I did have to stop that for a while. Um, some of these ventures can be very costly, and you have to think, wisely when it comes down to that. So that had to be something that I put on hold for a while.
Right.
Um, with these other things that go on, they create a little bit more income. So I've been able to, kind of save up now and put it towards this because selling shoes isn't something that you can just, it costs a lot because you have to get different types of shoes and all the other stuff. But it's time consuming, it's money consuming. So that had to be something that I set to the side for a while, and I've had to work. I've had to get out here and get my feet dirty and still work a 9 to 5 and do what I've had to do to
Right.
make sure that I get everything else covered. Because, like I said, these things take time to
Right.
create that revenue.
And that's the thing about it is like, yo, I remember first time I met you, you were in Hills, and like you got a crazy shoe collection. I'm pretty sure it's gotten bigger over the years, right? Where did you first get that style? Like, yo, when did you first get into fashion and shoes?
Um, I think I was a little girl, and I kind of grew up in like the foster care system.
Right.
And one of my foster care moms, like she was into the church, and she like had the dresses and the shoes and everything. So of course she had to make sure I had the stuff to go to church. But she took me shopping. And the first shopping trip she took me on was a shoe spree where
Wow.
I could go in the store and just go crazy over all the shoes that I wanted. And that's like the first time I actually like really fell in love. I was like, okay, I love shoes. Like I got heels. I got like it was just like a kid in a candy store.
Wow.
So from that point on, I've always loved shoes. And then shoes have always been like the confidence in an outfit.
Right.
So you can put on a white tee, a white pair of pants, and you put on a bomb ass pair of shoes and step outside, and you can step in the building and be the flyest thing in that building
Right.
because everybody gonna draw to your shoes. Oh, so you're gonna get all the attention.
Right.
So shoes have always, yeah. If
Okay.
nothing else, like you can be the ugliest person in the room, but if you have the fly shoes on, you're gonna get all the attention.
You get all the attention. So yo, that's the thing. It's like yo, early in the early days, you were Nikki Kouture shoes. Now you're the owner, you're the boss, Nikki. Right? I'm pretty sure you still step in the room and you throw the shoes on. Are you still killing them when you're stepping out with the shoes? Because I know back in the day you had the craziest shoe collection ever. So it's like, has it gotten better? And then Atlanta, do people compliment, say, "Yo, I like your shoes"?
Actually, yes, you do get that. I get the shoes and I get the hair. The
Wow.
shoes and the hair. Yeah.
Right. And that's almost like your signature. You always had the shortcuts and you do the colors and you do it and you make it yours.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's almost like your signature look. So it's like, and it's working. So now you're in Atlanta. You're rolling with the big dogs. Now they're starting to know you. Now they know your name. How does it feel coming from North Carolina to the big, we in Atlanta? It's a whole nother world. And now you're getting your respect. You're getting the love. They're giving you your flowers. How does that feel? Because North Carolina is kind of different. So let's talk about how that feels.
It feels good. It feels good to come from Carolina, to be able to represent Carolina and to represent it well.
Yes.
Um, I think Carolina is unnoticed in a certain sense. Well, no, I'm not going to say it's unnoticed because people know about North Carolina.
Right.
I think it's just a myth that people think you're supposed to stay in a bubble
Right.
and not branch out and move, because you can come from anywhere and you can move and be successful. You just have to have a plan. Now, don't I'm not going to say the plan is always going to go as planned,
Right.
but have a plan to step outside of the normal and take a chance. Take, if you have leeway, whether you can just jump up and move, you know, I was able, because I didn't have kids, to
Right.
just be able to, go and not have anybody else tagging along to think about. And a lot of people do have, families, and they can't just jump out and go and do these things.
Right.
But if you can get out here and network and build with these people in the right industry, because not just in this industry, but anything that you're trying to do, it's
Right.
all about trying to build to that next level. So I will say I'm very proud of where I've came from, because like I said, for me, this wasn't where I was headed. Like I honestly didn't know,
Right.
but I've used every opportunity, and I've taken advantage of all of that, and I've made and built something of my own.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing right there. And that, like you said earlier, now you're leaving a legacy for your son and your family and stuff like that. So it's like you're kind of changing the narrative. Whereas, like, it started out with a dream, like, this is something I want to do. And it's like you kind of stepped out on faith. And it's like, as doors going, you might not know which direction,
Right.
but it's like now you see the doors open. And I'm pretty sure looking back now, it all makes sense. May
Yeah.
not have understood coming up, but it's like now you make it to the
Right.
top and you looking back like, yo, oh, now I get it.
Right.
So when in your career was that now I get it moment for you?
Um, I will say maybe at one of the lowest points in my life personally,
Right.
but successfully, I was still going. Things were still coming. Maybe nobody knew what I was going through personally, but that didn't affect where I was going professionally.
Right.
So it's like, okay, it don't just because it's always bad, that don't mean it's always going to stay bad. It's going to get better.
Right.
It's just a certain points in your life that you're going to hit, and you're going to have to be able to overcome those things. So it was like, okay, I get it, because it ain't meant for me to fail. It's not meant for me to go back, because I still have these opportunities.
Right. Right. So it's like adversity may come, but it's like opportunities are still knocking. So it's like, whereas like if you look at the focus on the negative, it's like, yo, I really don't want to do it. But over here, it's like, yo, come on, this is the way. So it's like
Yeah.
now you follow your heart. Doors begin to open, doors keep opening. So let's talk about EI Virtual Solutions and how did you get into that?
EI is a new business as well. It started during COVID. I think like during that time period, it was a lot of time for a lot of people that were sitting at home to become entrepreneurs.
Right.
It was a time that you could use wisely. You're at home, you're not doing anything. So I use that, like I'm very busy savvy. I like paperwork, creating documents, anything dealing with the computer, I can do it. So I created a business that I could work from home, helping other people that needed assistance with their business, from logos, websites, graphic videos, uh, paperwork, anything you need. I been able to create it with this business,
Wow.
working from home, like secretary wise, even scheduling phone calls, you name it.
Wow. And that's the thing right there with being order, like a person of order, and you're definitely business savvy. So, like you said, so it's like even down to the flyers, and now you do the animation. What was it? The animation logos, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you get into that, and how did you learn it?
Well, I think with social media, you have to stay savvy with the little stuff that you create, the content to keep people in tune. Like, I'm not really big on staying on social media talking and all this, but I will create graphics and stuff that I can promote, like make for ads and, for other people to want to, okay, let me see what that is. Um, how I learned how to do that, I maybe a friend helped me with Photoshop,
Okay. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. And from
and
there,
and
right.
from there, shout out to my friend. Um, I've learned, like, as far as graphic wise, and
Right.
then that kind of just made my curiosity grow even more, and I don't know, like, I'm not a person that went to school for it, but I do get on my little apps and I know how to put my
Right.
stuff together.
And that's the thing. It looks very professional. So a lot of times from the outside, people don't know everything that you do. You say some stuff, but it's like a lot of stuff you do behind the scenes, and it's like people would never know. So for the viewers that's watching, let's let them know you don't have to run down everything. You do a lot. They may need you one day. They may say, "Yo, okay, Nikki does that." So let's run down some of the stuff that you do and you bring to the game.
Well, that I've done several bookings for some actors out here, that have been in major movies. Um, I've connected several people in different industries. I've helped people branch out and, their careers. The radio show that I was doing the marketing and then I was a host on, I helped a young man from North Carolina. Um, he created his own platform. He had a whole show. He had celebrities, everything that he came on his show. Now he's out in LA.
Wow.
He has a reality show that he's doing out in LA. So I've helped people with their careers. Um, Jeez. I've done PR work. Um, have I worked on set? No, I've worked on set. I think that's pretty much everything I've done since I've been here.
And that's the thing. It's like, yo, and you, like you said, you help people, and it's like you're not one of them people that say, yo, they wouldn't have did it if it wasn't for me, because I know you personally. A lot of things you do, and you let the people get to shine. It's like I done seen events you put together. You did the legwork, and it's like you may not get the credit, but I know you put the work in. So you always had a heart for the people. So it's like even with some of your clients, it's like you said, I get joy out of seeing them evolve. I get joy out of seeing them progress. And that's a beautiful thing. And you don't find that in a world where everybody's me, 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 me. And with you, you've never been a me, me, me type of person. It's like you always knew how to make networks and how to, like, yo, this person does that, that person does that. So growing up, like, how did you develop that skill of knowing, like, yo, let me to put the pieces together? It's kind of like a puzzle. How did you learn that skill?
I think growing up, I've always had like a group of friends around me. And I think I've always been like the glue to my friends.
Right.
So that kind of put me in a leadership role when it came down to like my friends and stuff. They always came to me for the advice. I was the one to help with the hair. I was the hairstylist. You know, opinion on clothes and stuff. So that kind of set me for a leadership role. And then growing up myself, I had to grow up early. I had to take care of myself at an early age. So
Right.
all of that played into part into, like, I ain't gonna say growing up too fast because I still had a childhood, but the mind state that I had to put myself in was different.
Right. And that makes sense right there. And you've always been that way. So it's like to see it manifesting, that's a beautiful thing. And it's like, yo, even dreams you once had, to see them manifesting, that's a beautiful thing. Because a lot of times we have these ideas, but we let fear, we let our friends talk us out of it. But you were always the type like to let nothing stop you. So to see you going and to see you manifesting the things that you once said is a beautiful thing. And I wanted to salute you on that, because it's like, yo, a lot of times it's like, yo, again, people have these billions of ideas and these wonderful dreams, but they don't manifest them. And it's like, yo, you made a choice. Yo, this is where my life is headed, and you're doing it. And it's like you've been growing and growing, and nobody's saying it's always been easy, but you're still doing it. You're still smiling. You still getting more opportunities. You're still learning. So it's like, yo, I wanted to salute you. If it's anything that we might have missed, let's let the people know. If not, if you have any shout outs, any things you want to give to the people out there.
I guess just don't ever give up on your dreams. Like, it might not happen today and it might not happen tomorrow, but if you keep pushing, if you keep driving and you keep positive people in your life and you keep moving forward, it'll eventually happen for you. I guess a shout out to just everybody that's been a part of my life and has made, some kind of impact some kind of way. Like, tremendously, it has gotten me to the place that I'm at today. And I'm truly thankful for that.
Right. And that's a fact right there. And again, from the Proof in the Pudding podcast show, and from me, I want to give you your flowers. I want to salute you for a job well done. Yo, keep going. I know this is just the beginning. It's only going to get bigger and bigger from here, because that's just what Libras do. With Libras, that's what we do. But yo, I definitely want to give a special thank you to you for coming on the platform, because this is big for me. Because it's like, yo, we started and I was like, you're here. I'm just starting out. So it was like, yo, to have the Endless Report on this platform, it means the world to me. And this is big for Raleigh. And a lot of, it's big for the culture, yo. So I really thank you. And we laughing and joking, but I really mean that. I definitely appreciate you for coming back up here, kicking it with me, talking to me about your business and your journey. Yo, hopefully down the road, as things continue to evolve for you, we can bring you back on the show again, if that's not a problem.
Absolutely. And I want to say, I give you your props too. You've came a long way, and I applaud everything that you've done. Salute.
Yo, salute. And yo, Nick, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Yo, NC, we love you. We miss you. Keep representing us out there. Yo, Atlanta, y'all got a jewel. Y'all take care of her, yo. This is the Proof in the Pudding podcast show. Our host today, Nikki Kouture, all the way from Atlanta, yo. We thank y'all for tuning in, and we love y'all, yo, for real. We appreciate it.
Can y'all make some noise one time for Shiggy and Junebug in the building, man? Yo, my name is Ricky Collins. I'm the CEO of Packed House Live. We are a pay-per-view platform, built, and we on a mission to help content creators monetize their content through pay-per-view and make the lion's share of the profit. Make some noise for that one time. Lion's share. If you don't know what the lion's share means, that means the most. And that's what we're trying to do.
I'm like, what's going on here? I'm still here. I'm still activated. I'm still moving and grooving. So I had to come out and show them what's up, man. They say I lost the first one. Cool. I'm here now. If they say I'm gonna get this one, we're gonna get another one. We're gonna do like part 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's gonna go on forever.
No need for all that.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
He said it's over.
He can say whatever he wants. You can't even hear him back there. They don't know what he's talking about. He ain't talking loud enough. My own personal camera. That's my camera right here. What camera I have? It's gonna be all night.
My wrist on fold, skinny jeans on with a big bang roll. She paying my song, I gotta take it off the thong.